We are back, baby. We are back. Hammer's a little upset, but yeah, we're back. I mean, officially football season back. Marty in the house. What up, Marty? What's up, Hammer? How you feeling on this fine day?
So normally I'm a nice person, but I am not going to be nice today. I'm very upset. Now, I will preface my statement by saying that it could have been a lot worse from all the reports. It could have been an ACL. He could have been done for the season. Looks like an MCL from all reports. 3 to 4 weeks, depending on, the severity of the MCL. So all things considered, not bad. But when you consider that our backup quarterback is Malik Willis, that's bleak.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's rough.
that's part of what's got me down right now. But yeah, I was super excited. Obviously the Thursday game, super excited for the Friday game. I got a ton of Jordan Love stock in Dynasty, and a bunch of Green Bay stock in Dynasty as well, just all across the board. And it was definitely disappointing. And on top of that, they lost a game they could have won. You know what I mean? That makes it even worse. So you're already 0-1 and you're staring down the barrel of another month without your franchise quarterback, who you just paid good money to. Now, it's not as catastrophic, like I said, as we thought, but still, that's not what you want to see in game one. I will say really quick, I don't know if you noticed this. That field was an absolute disaster. Like that was waiting for somebody to get hurt. Now, I
Oh
don't think he
yeah,
got hurt. He didn't get hurt because of the field, but somebody could have got seriously hurt because of that terrible field they had in Brazil. So,
the ref
all
got hurt. Did you see that? The ref
yes,
got
I
injured.
did. I did. And
Albert, what up,
even
Albert?
did you notice on the first drive, I think Saquon Barkley on like his first carry just fell in the backfield. Like
Mm.
he tried to like push off or whatever. So overall definitely disappointing, but happy football's back. That's all I got, man.
But yeah, we are just kind of Q&A, start, sit, whatever, throw it out there. We'll talk a little bit about the Ravens Chiefs. We'll talk about some of the players and what's going on and what we think, because there are some questions that people have. Marty, JSN or Gus Edwards in the flex PPR?
I mean, the JSN thing is tough, right? Because Lockett's still around. What kind of
He was a
Geno are
little
we
banged up.
getting?
Lockett
He is
was a little
banged
banged
up.
up.
He is banged up, but he's still around. Is Lockett playing? I think he is. I didn't see anything on
Yeah, I
Lockett
think
in
he's
terms of
playing,
not
but
playing. That's a tough one for me. I think I'll go Gus Edwards here, but that feels like a 50-50 proposition.
yeah. It's tough because the Raiders aren't really that good. So does Gus Edwards get some goal line opportunities?
Or where if it's a 21-3 game in the fourth quarter, are they churning them out? You know what I mean? And you're getting those rushing opportunities in the second half. So I'll lean Gus Edwards, but I could see how this is a 50-50 call.
I mean, the Broncos ain't that good. That good. I mean, I got a decent defense, but um, if it's damn, it's tough. I think it might be Gus Edwards for right now. But then again, like then they're giving you the bullshit like, oh, it's gonna be the hot hand or some shit like that they were talking about with JK and all. So that's tough too. And we don't know how they're gonna really deploy these guys as well. I mean, they said Gus Edwards was like a workhorse dude. I'll go with Gus here, but I'm even hesitant. Like I want to say JSN, but like Gus might have some opportunities. But is that offense even going to be good? Are they going to be able to move the ball? They're going to be able to pass? Like I don't know.
I think the
JSN, like
matchup
at least
is
you can lock in at least a few catches for JSN, like some targets and opportunities. But does he have? Can he get a touchdown?
Yeah, I'm gonna lean Gus Edwards just because that touchdown possibility. You know what I'm saying? So I'll lean that way, but I could see you can make the case for both guys, honestly.
Yeah, you can. I would say if you want to play it safe, go for Gus Edwards, I guess. But
Little up.
I'm gonna go with JSN. I mean, it's full PPR. Give me the
That's
catches. Hopefully
true.
that new offense
That's
they're
true.
passing enough. I'm gonna go with JSN, but it's slightly. Philip, what up? Philip Ford or Ramondre?
Give me Ford. I want nothing to do with that Patriots offense. I'm good. I know now you could look at it on the flip side where Ramondre is basically their best offensive weapon, but they may be down early to the Bengals. I'm gonna go with Ford here.
Yeah. We're not really sure if is Ramondre the automatic workhorse or
They
like is
got Gibby.
Gibson right?
Yeah.
Is Gibby still coming in there? But yeah, I'm gonna go with Ford as well. I know they're playing Dallas. Tommy, what up, Tommy? What up, guys? Full PPR, Sutton or Ford in the flex. Yeah, I'm still go pack go. Prayers for
Yes,
love. Next man
sir.
up. Yeah,
You
next
know,
man up is,
it's
is
Malik
Malik
Willis,
Willis.
man. When that's the next man up, I can't. That just my eyes are low. I didn't sleep last night. Yeah, I think I'm still going Ford here, but Sutton's got good touchdown upside. He had a ton of touchdowns last year. Is Bo Nix the guy? We have to wait and see. I know Jerome Ford is going to get a solid workload. I'm still going to go with Jerome Ford here. Full
I think I'm
PPR
good.
though makes it
Well, I
close.
mean, Sutton was not. He's not necessarily the like a possession guy. Like, can he catch a deep ball? Yeah,
Touchdown
maybe.
upside.
But is Bo Nix, like you said, even throwing it deep? Like he's more, the way their offense is, they're more trying to move the ball down the field a little bit, like little by little, short passes, intermediate passes, line of scrimmage, like high percentage plays. I'm gonna go for just because I just don't know with Sutton. What up, Kev? Kevin said we ready for y'all. What up, dudes? Condolences, Hammer, Packer Nation. We'll be back hype in a couple weeks.
Yeah, but the problem
Yeah.
is in a couple of weeks you could be 0-4, 0-5, whatever the case may be. So that's part of the issue too, is like how deep of a hole is it going to be? We know Detroit's going to be really good. The Chicago Bears are pretty unknown at this point. We don't know what they are. The Vikings stink, so that's fine. But at this point, it's like, what are we going to be in a month?
Kevin said 12-team Superflex start 9 contender. Trading Leggett a second and a 26 first. Got Nico and Moose. One to the stronger flex. Puka, Ayuk, Rice, Addison, and Nico now. And Reed now my wide receiver core. Okay, so nice receiving core. You gave up Leggett. That's fine. The second is fine. The first, I mean, I don't love giving up a first, but I mean, you got to give up a first to go and get Nico. So and obviously, it's a little bit more than that. But yeah, I'm okay with it. You got Fryermuth back. I know he just got the contract. I've always been a fan of Muth. So yeah, I'm good with it.
Yeah, you're strengthening your team. And I mean, listen, you have good production. You're going to get good production out of Puka. Rasheed Rice was really good. Addison, kind of a little bit of an unknown at this point, where he slots in with Sammy D slinging it around, and the Jaden Reed thing. Obviously, he was massive last night, but that's going to be a sunk cost for at least a month. So I think this is a good move to go out and get a Nico Collins to kind of solidify that production you're going to lose with the Jaden Reed, and we're not sure about Addison at this point. So that's pretty much where I'm at with that. So I think it's a good move.
26 first, and you have some guy, your wide receivers, like you can get first pluses for those guys. So, yeah, I'm okay with it. Marty said, Hammer. Last I checked, Packers are at the bottom of the division.
All right, Marty. All
Aaron
right.
Jones tearing up the Packers in 3 weeks. Yeah, if he makes it that far, I mean, we
We'll
know.
see. Josh Jacobs looked really good in the second half, which I was happy to see. So I did like that. Christian Watson caught a touchdown. Like it was a good game overall, obviously, but it's just super unfortunate that, and you know what also too is that it happened with 5 seconds left to go in the game. So it's like, Jesus Christ. Like, all right, we lost the game, whatever. I can get over that. But now, the next month is in jeopardy where our guy got lost on the second to last play of the game.
All right, so we'll talk about that game first, I guess, since it just happened. But like Josh Jacobs, I mean, 16 for 84, 5.3 a carry. I know he didn't really do much early, but kind of chugged it along a little bit
He was good in the
after
second
that.
half. 100 total yards. He had a couple of catches, so 100
Right.
total yards. That's solid.
So now I guess the biggest thing is, can this offense still like move the ball? How effective is he going to be when you're probably going to be seeing, stack boxes against a Malik Willis? So I don't know. What are we
Yeah.
feeling about Jacobs, I guess, for the rest of the season? Like, I mean, I
I mean,
think he got the majority of the work, which we kind of expected. So that wasn't like there wasn't anything that was kind of like unexpected.
threatening. Yeah.
Um,
I think Jacobs is still going to be in that RB2 mix just because he is Josh Jacobs and because they will probably need to lean on him a little bit more with the quarterback situation as it is. But you're telling me you could find 12 other running backs that you would rather, plug into your RB2 spot than Josh Jacobs? You know what I'm saying? So I think I'm still rolling Josh Jacobs out there because he is capable. He is productive. He is, especially down around the goal line. He has a good nose for the goal line. So you still got to run him out there, but you have to temper your expectations with Josh Jacobs. He might be more of a flex play at this point than an RB2 if you think about it. So, but he's got to be in your lineups regardless.
right. I mean, Jaden Reed, 4 for 138, some big plays and a touchdown. Did not have a great target share. Like we know that it's going to be spread around. So
But he's dynamic, then
he
that's
is.
the point.
He is.
And he had the
I mean,
rushing touchdown.
yeah, I mean, he's a solid like he was last year. He was a solid wide receiver too with those, with some of those boom weeks
Boomer.
because he can both rush and run. But there are going to be games where like he might not get much. I mean, you're not every game you're going to catch 4 for 138.
Yeah. And
He's good.
one of those catches, really two of those catches basically took up 100 yards because he had the
Right.
70-yard touchdown and then he had the 33-yarder at the end. So, but listen, that's why I like, and I know a lot of people do like Jaden Reed, and he should be in your lineups. So long as Jordan Love is available, but he is their most dynamic playmaker, evidenced by he can score from anywhere on the field, and that's what you like. So he doesn't need 10 plus targets to turn in a really impressive fantasy week. He could have 7 targets and a couple rushing attempts and turn it into 2 touchdowns and over 100 yards. So I think the upside, like you said, is there, but you have to build in those boomer bust weeks, even with Jordan Love and everything running at maximum capacity. So, but going forward, it's going to be tough sailing for any of those pass catching players on the Packers at this point.
I mean, Dubes led the team in targets, 7 targets, 4 for 50. Tucker Kraft wound up getting some catches, but they were both targeted only like 3 and 2 times. No catches from Musgrave. So Watson 3 for 13. He wound up scoring the tutty. He had 5 targets. Um, and then Wicks just with 3 targets, but a straight donut. I mean,
He had a couple of drops too.
yeah, I saw one where he slipped as well, but so yeah, I mean, right now, like really, you can only play Jaden Reed and Josh Jacobs are the two guys that really you can only
I would
play.
agree. I
But you
would
just
agree.
know that with Jaden Reed, you're going to have some down weeks as well because Jordan Love is going to spread it around. Obviously, he's down now for a few weeks, so Jaden Reed might not be the greatest play, but to be fair, they might try and get him the ball because he is one of the playmakers, and they got no damn quarterback. So, but
Yeah.
does he have as much touchdown upside? Obviously not. But as far as Josh Jacobs is concerned, I mean, he got good work. He just obviously was unable to score, and it is what it is. But I'm still comfortable with what I'm going for. But like you said, RB2 flex, like that's the most we can do. Muth or Janu, waiting on Hawk, non-tight end premium. Can't hear you, Hammer.
I'm taking Fryermuth here, and
Mhm.
Russell Wilson's not playing. It's going to be Justin Fields, and Justin Fields started to develop a nice rapport with his tight end in Chicago, and Cole Kmet, obviously. So, and that safety valve, I'm going with Fryermuth here.
I'm definitely going Muth too. Jay, what up, Jay? Hammer needed
Jay,
a cigarette when Stevie mentioned Malik Willis. Yeah,
I
I'm
needed
really
more than that. I needed more than that. I needed a fifth of tequila, is what I needed.
You picked Pollard over Kenneth Walker. Do I go Pollard or Brian Robinson Jr.?
I think I'm going to go B-Rob. I'm going B-Rob here. I think Washington has a legitimate chance to be a solid offense. Not great, not terrible. I think they're going to have enough opportunities for B-Rob to be effective. So I know Austin Eckler's there. How much does Austin Eckler have left in the tank? But I'm gonna go B-Rob here. Think did Tajay Spears have an injury?
I
I
don't
saw
know, man.
something. I saw something.
Pollard, what were they playing?
Tennessee's playing Chicago. No, it looks like Tajay Spears is fine, but it's going to be a 50-50 split.
Yeah, is that going to be the same though for B-Rob and Eckler? I mean,
I think they might use Eckler more in that maybe passing downs. It remains to be seen. I'm going to go
right.
B-Rob here.
Yeah, I'll go with B-Rob too, but I'm not excited at all. But yeah, let's go B-Rob there. Dylan, what up, Dylan? Start Ford or Mostert? Ford or Mostert? See, I'm just
Give me
not going against Mostert, who was like
Yeah,
RB5 last year.
I'm
I'm
going
just even
Mostert here.
and,
Yeah.
and we're
Down
and
in
we like
Miami.
Ford. We like Ford, but Mostert, you can't go against that. You'll be shooting yourself in the foot. With Love down, do I pick up Herbert, Baker, Geno, or Deshaun Watson? I mean, you could pick up Herbert and Watson, I would say probably, and you can just play kind of the matchup, I guess. I mean, Herbert is playing the Raiders this
Vegas.
week. Like
That's a good matchup. Yep.
Browns are
I'm,
playing the Cowboys. I mean,
I'm going to go Justin Herbert here, but none of these guys give you a ton of rushing upside. Deshaun Watson probably gives you the most rushing upside out of these four, but nothing that you can kind of take to the bank. So I'm going to go Herbert, maybe even Baker, because he's got the weapons. He's got the familiarity with those guys. So I'm going to go Herbert, but Herbert or Baker? Herbert leading the pack there for me.
I'll roll with Herbert for week one at least, Tommy. Heavy, what up, Heavy? Joshua Palmer, JMO, or the Bengals slot wide receiver? Do we even know who the Bengals slot wide receiver is right now? Is it Yoshivas or is
Yeah.
it Burton? Like we don't even know.
JMO's an interesting play here because I think that's going to be a fairly high scoring game in a rematch of the playoff game last year. So JMO's a very interesting play here, but let's not forget that JMO essentially is fourth in the pecking order behind St. Brown, behind Laporta. Fuck it. I'm going to even throw Gibbs in there behind Gibbs. So JMO's looking at basically being the fourth in the pecking order, and that's not factoring in Monty down at the goal line or in between the 20s. So give me one Joshua Palmer here, who's virtually the de facto number one for Justin Herbert, and they've played together for a couple of years now. Give me Joshua Palmer here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Joshua Palmer as well. He went like massively underrated in drafts.
I picked him up
JMO, like
very late. Yeah,
JMO has the upside to, to make a big play. Like if you're looking for the big boom or bust, like JMO is the guy. But if you're just looking for some points and being safe, like I think Joshua Palmer is the right call there. And we
agreed.
can't play the Bengals other wide receivers yet until
You
we
just don't
know
know.
what's going on and what they're doing. B-Rod suffered last year, to them always being down. Yep, just chucking with Howie. Yeah, that's why like I don't love B-Rob. Like I don't know how much or what it's gonna look like between him and Eckler and Pollard kind of, same situation.
No, that's also another 50-50 one, but I've seen B Rob do some good things. I think that, obviously they have Eckler there, who is the more established kind of all pro ish type guy. But I don't know. I just got a feeling on B Rob this week.
I don't know. I might go
Not
Pollard.
feeling Pollard.
I
Not
might
feeling
go
Pollard.
Pollard. I mean, Pollard, I think, is going to be that main back, like the first and second down guy. Spears is just going to have that same kind of role, be that third down guy, pass catching guy. Um, I don't know. I might go Pollard. I'm going to go Pollard. I'll go Pollard. So I'm going to change it. So pick your poison, bro. Johnny D, what up, Johnny? What's the move with Burrow PPR? Got both Caleb and Burrow. Do I risk it with Williams because of the uncertainty with the wide receivers?
A fair point, honestly, because now apparently Jamar Chase has an illness. So, but I will say this: do they both play? Let me check the times because now we get into the situations
Both
where the
play at
time.
one. They both
All
play
right,
at
so they
one.
both play at one. So if Jamar Chase plays, I'm playing Burrow. I
Right,
guess
right,
that's
right,
the way to go. That's the way to look at it. If Jamar
right.
Chase plays, I'm playing Joe Burrow. If Jamar Chase doesn't play, you can roll with Caleb
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same. I roll with the same. That's gonna be your best option, and you'll know before the start like who's gonna be
around
playing or not. So
11:30. Yeah.
right, right.
Now, also too, though, do you and just to because I have a Jamar Chase share and I have a Joe Burrow share in a redraft this year. What if it's a situation where Jamar Chase just comes in, he plays a series, and then he dips out on you? Now, that's a risk you're just going to have to take, obviously, but that's also something to factor in where
Well,
if
can
you
you
just
live with yourself if he does play and goes for
and
200 and something yards, or can you
I
live with that? Like, or
I
can
hear it,
you,
I hear it. I'm just playing devil's
like,
advocate. You're going down with the dogs.
that's it. Eckler, Singletary, or Zamir PPR flex.
Singletary's an interesting play. I think I'm gonna go with Singletary here. Obviously, we know Eckler's in the split, and then we're not sure what Zamir White truly is. We saw, just a sample size last year, about a month. I'm gonna go Devin Singletary here. I think they want to run the ball with Brian Dable and company, keep Daniel Jones out of third and long situations. I'm gonna go Devin Singletary here.
I'm gonna go White, but it's like by a hair,
I'm not mad at that.
and only because I think they'll probably use him. I mean, they're probably gonna use both guys the same-ish. I mean, you could argue maybe Singletary even gets all of the work. Like Zamir, he's going to come out
They
necessarily on
got
those third downs or
Abdullah,
pass
yeah,
catching situations, but like Zamir just might have more opportunities. Is like that's the main thing.
more workload, yeah.
He might get more workload. Or do we trust Daniel Jones dumping it off to Singletary, like catching the
Mm,
football? I mean, maybe, but Daniel Jones also rushes. So you know what? I'm gonna go with Zamir, but that's a close one. We're definitely not going Eckler.
no.
Keon Coleman or D Hop. That's a good one.
I know D Hop had an injury.
D Hop did have
Uh,
an injury, and I think there's. I mean, I think he is going to play, but
but that's the risk you run with a guy like D Hop. You run him out there, he catches a 10-yard pass and gets hit, and then he's out. So you
right.
got
Or
to
do you
be
just
wary
roll
of
with
that.
Coleman, who is typically basically the wide receiver one there. Other than Curtis Samuel, I guess you can argue, but Keon Coleman's going to be on the field. He's in a good offense. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm gonna go with
I'm
Coleman too.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll the dice with Coleman here as well. And also, don't forget with D Hop, obviously he has a bit of a rapport with Will Levis, but they added a Calvin Ridley, they added a Tyler Boyd, they have the 2 running backs that are capable pass catchers. So, yeah, give me some Keon Coleman here.
Feels like the KC game. Pacheco had a good amount of touches. You think it's sustainable?
Yeah, I do. No CEH. Who's really there to threaten Pacheco?
I mean, my thing with Pacheco, why
Samaje Perine?
I just never really like him is just he's just not that good. Like he's just there, and that's who they have. But I just feel like he's easily replaceable. I mean, he had 15 for 45, 3 yards a clip. He can catch the ball decently. He's not the greatest pass catcher, but he can catch the ball a little because it's necessary because they've got nobody else really.
You
Um,
like the opportunities he's going to get in that offense? I
But
do.
he is gonna get opportunities, and he's in a good offense. I just don't necessarily love him as like a RB1 type, like
That's
because
fair.
he hasn't produced that, even though he's had the same situation for these last 2 years. And I just think that with some of the weapons they have now, especially at wide receiver, that Mahomes could toss in 40, 50 tutties, and we might not see a lot of Pacheco goal line. You know what I mean? So but I mean, if you have Pacheco, like you're playing him regardless. I mean, you drafted him pretty much as probably your first running back or your second running back, depending how you drafted. So, like you're playing him regardless, no matter what.
Yeah, I agree. I think Pacheco is definitely a startable running back. Now, because of the offense, I like his opportunities. I've actually been a fan of Pacheco. I think he's good for what they want to do, especially with obviously when you go back to last year, they didn't have the crazy, the weapons that we perceive them to have now with Rashee Rice emerging. Obviously, Travis Kelsey's still around. And then the big play guy in Xavier Worthy. So I'm fine with Pacheco, and I think he's sustainable as an RB2 with RB1 upside on a week to week basis.
All right, fellas, what up, Goku? What do you do if you started Andrews on Thursday and you have Chase situation? Do you still play him if he's active? Yeah, we just talked about that. Where if
You
he's
have
playing,
to,
I'm playing him.
right?
I mean,
Because if you don't play him and he goes 8 for
can't live with yourself for
150
that.
and a
Yeah,
touchdown, you're kicking yourself
especially after what happened with Mark Andrews. Like you want the upside that Chase can give you. So
for sure.
start Williams or Daniels.
Ooh, so that's Caleb or
That's a good one.
Jaden.
I'm going with Daniels just because of
Of
the
course you are.
rushing.
You've been on the Daniels wagon since he
He's
got
got the
drafted,
rushing.
basically.
I'm going over. I'm playing him
I'm with
over
it.
what? I'm playing him over Williams. That's it.
I'm with it as well. I'm gonna lean Jaden Daniels here. I do think the dearth of talent that Chicago has at the skill position is going to be incredibly valuable. So long as Caleb Williams is efficient, he's going to be good. But the rushing upside, obviously, is something that Caleb Williams just doesn't have at this point. So see Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson didn't have a great game, and he finished with, he had he had 3 turnovers basically, and still finished over 100 rushing yards, 400 yards of total offense, and he can make up with it. He can make it up with his legs on the ground. So yeah, you always want to take the rushing upside guy if it's close.
So yeah, I mean, shit. Lamar threw for 273 and then ran for another 122. 16 carries. I do think he kind of just ran too much, but
He
at the
had to.
same
He was
time, I
trying to
mean,
carry that. Yeah.
the Chiefs defense is good. Like they were one of the best defenses last year. Um, and he had just no choice. Offensive line is just not that good. Derrick Henry, let's talk about Derrick Henry for a second. He only had 13 carries, but it was a horrible game script. Some people are complaining that Justice Hill kept coming in there, but like Derrick
Passing
Henry was never
situations. Yeah.
always a third down pass catching guy. He's just not. He's never had that before.
Right.
He's always been a guy that's just rushing the football and scoring you touchdowns. So I'm not panicking on Derrick Henry. He started off hot. He had a touchdown. So that pretty
Early, the
much
first
that
touchdown.
early.
Yeah.
So that pretty much saved the day. But they didn't. It wasn't the game script for him. They couldn't just keep him out there. So he still had 13 carries on a bad game script. Now imagine a good game script. He's still getting 25, 30 carries. I mean, so I'm not worried about
Against,
Derrick Henry. It just was a bad game script, I think.
I agree. And against that team in that stadium, blah, blah, blah. Derrick Henry, if this is going to be your floor, you're going to feel pretty good about it. Like you said, against a
Mhm.
good defense, I'm not panicking either. Derrick Henry is still going to finish with double-digit touchdowns this season. He'll probably be close to 1,200 yards. He'll be fine.
Zay Flowers, 10 targets, 6 catches for 37 yards. A lot of everything was kind of around the line of scrimmage or behind the line of scrimmage to kind of mitigate, I guess, the offensive line. But it looks like they're trying to keep him involved, and he's going to be one of those PPR guys. He's not going to have that crazy like upside of like that wide receiver one. Um, unless he catches a bomb or so. But it looks like we see what they're trying to do, and Zay Flowers is the main guy, that they have there as far as wide receiver position.
Give me
Um,
the 10 targets. Give me the 6 receptions. Zay
right.
Flowers is dynamic enough where he'll be able to turn that into something more going forward. If that's going to be the target share, I'm going to roll with that. He also got 2 rushing attempts, which is nice. So they're trying to get him involved, kind of like a
Mhm.
Jaden Reed type of situation.
Yep.
So if I'm going to get 12 opportunities, 14, 15 opportunities, depending on how the game's going, Zay Flowers is going to be involved no matter what.
Right. And then the biggest thing everybody's talking about is the Mark
Mark and
Andrews, right? Only
Isaiah
2
likely
targets,
went nuts.
2 catches for 14 yards. Um, But don't forget, Mark Andrews almost didn't even play this game, right? He was hurt. He was just coming back from a car accident. He hasn't practiced.
True.
So he was coming back from that. And then it seemed like he was lining up in the slot a lot. Like he was almost like the second wide receiver. So he was lined up in the slot, and then Isaiah Likely was basically lined up at tight end. But a lot of people think Isaiah Likely is taking over right now, right? Is that kind of what's happening? I don't think that's what's happening, because if you watch that game, it wasn't like Isaiah Likely was the game plan. Like when you watch that game, he caught a ton of all that were like flat routes. He was just running straight to the side from the tight end position because the offensive line sucked, and Lamar was just getting rid of it right there, right to him quick, right? Mark Andrews ran a lot of routes, but they kind of bracketed him and they kind of just took him away. Like he was out there running those deeper intermediate routes, and Lamar just did not have the time to even get the ball there. Now, I will say, when Mark Andrews did catch that one pass, he just kind of went straight down, which was kind of weird. I don't know if everybody saw that. He caught that one pass like over the middle, and it kind of just went flat down. Like it seemed like he was still kind of hurt a little bit. So that is a little bit of concern there, but I'm not really panicking on Mark Andrews. I don't think Isaiah Likely is just taking over. A lot of it was that game script and that crazy, out of pocket rushing and then throwing him that ball that he caught for that 50-yard tutty. But Isaiah Likely is good. I think he is going to be part of the offense, obviously, as we saw. But I don't think it's some just total takeover and like Isaiah Likely was the guy and they kind of game planned around Isaiah Likely. So I don't know how you feel about that, but that's kind of what I saw and what I felt.
I would agree. And I think Isaiah Likely is really good, but I do think this sets up because they're going to hear the chatter, they're going to hear the noise. I think this sets up Baltimore and particular Mark Andrews for a hell of a game against Vegas next week. So I'm not panicking on Mark Andrews. It is very interesting, though, that Mark Andrews, even though he was out targeted and obviously outshined by Isaiah Likely, Mark Andrews still had more snaps and ran more routes than Isaiah Likely. So I think it was just a product, like you said, of how the game was going, a lot of flat routes, maybe obviously wasn't the number one option, but he was hot and Isaiah Likely was making plays. So they rode the hot hand. Isaiah Likely made a ton of really nice plays, obviously the touchdown highlighting his big night. So I think going forward, you're still going to run Mark Andrews out there at your tight end because are there 5 better tight ends you'd rather have than Mark Andrews at this juncture? Probably not. So Mark Andrews will be fine. I think it sets up for a big game from him against Vegas.
Game script was crazy. I mean, Lamar Jackson's not throwing the ball 41 times a game, so
Right.
that's just not going to be happening. But they were playing from behind. They had to throw the football like we throw the football like we said. So, and we'll talk about the other side here in a second. Marty said Chuba or Singletary.
Singletary.
Yeah, I'll go with Singletary as well. Diaz, what up, Diaz, gentlemen? And I use that term lightly. What up, man? All in one show with Higgins doubtful and Chase trending to not playing. Should I bench Burrow and start Richardson? That's a good. That's a good switch. We kind of had talked about like if Chase plays, then play Burrow. If Chase doesn't play, then don't play Burrow.
I think this is a little bit different
It
because
is.
Richardson, it gives you that rushing upside. I've never been incredibly high on Anthony Richardson, but I've seen him play a couple of games, obviously at the beginning of last season, and the dynamicness is there. Like he can give you that 40-point Lamar type, Josh Allen type game. Like it's in there. So I wouldn't be opposed to just playing Richardson and forgetting about it and not even worrying about it. Just make the switch and then roll and then let the chips fall where they may from that standpoint.
Yep, I agree. A little bit different with Richardson there. PB and Jelly, what up?
PB.
Armando said gross options, but Conklin, Font, Henry, or Otten. Um,
Conklin's interesting. Obviously, he's playing with Aaron against a tough defense, though, in San Francisco, who have really good linebackers. Henry,
I like Henry.
I do like Henry too.
I think it's between Henry and Font for me for sure, but I'm gonna lean to the Henry side. The bad
I
offense,
mean,
they probably got to pass.
Otten's not terrible, man. I think Otten has some sleeper potential at that position just because he had a really, really strong finish to last season in the playoffs. Now, obviously, Mike Evans and Godwin are going to dominate. You got a pass catching back in Rashad White that's going to absorb some targets. But I think Cade Otton is not a bad play going into this week, considering how funky the situation you're in, Armando. So give me some Cade Otton here. I think he finished up the year really strong in the playoffs last year. Built a nice rapport with Baker Mayfield. I'm gonna roll with Cade Otton here.
Okay. Yeah, I'll still roll with Henry, but I feel you. Janky, what up, Janky? Keenan Allen or Pickens?
Keenan Allen's a safer play. Pickens is the higher upside. Pick what you like. I'm gonna go Keenan Allen, especially if it's PPR. I'm gonna go Keenan Allen.
Just don't know if I can trust Keenan Allen. And I'm not really a Pickens guy. But I might go. I'm gonna go Pickens here. I think he's just got kind of got the higher upside. You might think Keenan Allen might be safer, but I don't necessarily know with some of the weapons over there. Like
He is the veteran
just
guy. He is the
give
now
me
DJ
Pickens. All we
Moore
need.
been there,
No, I
but
feel you. I feel you. But all we need is one play from Pickens, and we're good. So let's just hope we get that one play, especially with Russ. I mean, with Russ out, right? It looks like Fields is going to start. So, can Fields like open some things up like he did with DJ Moore a little bit, and can Pickens, find himself catching a bomb? I'll roll with it.
yeah, I'm
But yeah,
taking
safe,
Keenan.
I guess you can say Allen. Would you trade JMO for a second? Yep, we'll take the second, baby. He'll never be worth the first. That's over
Yeah,
with. That's over with. Can you add something else in there and X for a first? Maybe.
that's over with. I love that. I love that.
But it's true. Speaking of Justin Fields, I just sold Justin Fields for a second to Diaz, actually. What up, Diaz?
What up, Diaz? Hey, Diaz got himself a starting quarterback.
Steve finally got me to K for the stupid Fields share. Well, the funny part is like I got him from Diaz. I don't even remember. I think it was like for Russ and something. I can't even remember. But it was my third quarterback, so I was like, "Fuck it, let me take the upside of Fields." And then Diaz has been trying to get Fields back kind of ever since because he has Russ now. But in our league, like I felt like I could probably try to finagle somebody with Fields, like once kind of the time came. Now, kind of the time is here, and I sent out offers for a first round pick for Fields to everybody, and nobody took it. And then DS had dropped a second in my inbox, and I'm like, all right, I can live with that. Like, I'm not gonna play this game of like holding him and seeing if he becomes a starting
Waiting, yeah.
quarterback and praying for somebody gives me a first for it. I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna take the second and just fucking, and just live with it and have it in the bank, So now I got a second in the bank. I don't got to worry about Fields, failing or succeeding. It's gone and over with. So,
Take that
have fun,
second to the
DS.
bank.
He did. He drafted Fields as a second round startup pick before they traded Fields to Pittsburgh. This was right.
That's
Right.
rough.
Yeah, it was crazy. I had to rip the band-aid off. Yeah, man. It was. Where were we at? Also have Burrow starting, but should I switch to Murray? I have McBride as well. Yeah, just play Kyler.
Yeah, that's Kyler's giving you that rushing upside. He's got Marvin Harrison Jr., he's got McBride. That's a tough one for me. God, man. Yeah, you just got to make the call and roll with it, especially because I think Arizona plays later on tomorrow. No, Arizona plays at 1 o'clock against Buffalo. So you're in the similar situation. Yeah, I'd kind of go with Kyler.
Adam, what up, Adam? Curtis Samuel, Calvin Ridley, George Pickens, Yosivas, full PPR.
I feel like Curtis Samuel always starts off seasons hot. People get hype and excited, and then by week 4, he's on the waiver wire.
Mhm.
So going based off that logic, man, this is. I think Pickens has to be one of them.
Yeah, start two. I'm definitely going Pickens. I'm going with Pickens and Samuel. I'm not trusting Ridley yet. Samuel's the veteran. Like they've got, Keon Coleman is young. They might try and, give the veteran the football a little bit at least
Kincaid's
early.
involved. The tight ends are involved. Knox and Kincaid are going to be hanging around.
Yeah. I mean, Kincaid is gonna get his, but do I trust Ridley more? Not necessarily. I
Or
mean, D Hop is
Samuel, yeah.
probably playing, even though he's kind of hurt a little bit. Um, but yeah, I'm just gonna go with Curtis Samuel and George Pickens, like two guys that I know I'm most likely gonna get points from. We don't know
Yeah,
what
I'm leaning.
to deal with Yoshivas, and then depending if you like Ridley or not, like I guess you can make the argument for Ridley over Curtis Samuel, but
Yeah, I'm gonna go Pickens and Curtis Samuel as well, but I can see Calvin Ridley catching a bomb from Will Levis. Like I can see it, but the percentages are fairly low, and Curtis Samuel is more of a PPR kind of guy. He's more of a gadget, a Swiss Army knife type guy. So I think Curtis Samuel should be a better overall play than Calvin Ridley, which is crazy to say.
yeah, let's go Samuel and Pickens there. Janky said that's what throwing me off. Russ not playing. Yeah, but you see what he can do with a good wide receiver like DJ Moore. Not saying that Pickens is necessarily DJ Moore, but with a guy like Pickens, all it takes is one play, right? All it takes is
Mm-hmm.
one bomb. DSA's been trying to fix that BS ever since. Kev said he couldn't wait to sell Fields. What did you sell Fields for, Kevin? I took a second. I figured that's fair. Like I know I'm not getting a first, but I did spam everybody for a first before I took the second. But yeah, you ain't gonna get much else for him. Sutton, D Hop, or Javante. D Hop
D Hop's
injury we just kind of talked about, right?
D Hop's
Sutton.
going to
I
be hard
mean,
to trust.
what are we getting out of Sutton? I mean, it's not like we can necessarily trust Javante either, but It might be Javante in this, like,
It's between Javante or Sutton for me. I mean, Sutton does have the touchdown upside, man. I know, obviously, with Bo Nix in there and not Russell Wilson anymore, but I still think Sutton holds that good touchdown value, especially they're going to get at least a couple of red zone opportunities, you would imagine. So that's a tough one, Marty. But I think I'll go with Javante here, but Sutton a close second.
I mean, you should definitely get targets, Cortland Sutton. I've never liked
No, you
Cortland
haven't.
Sutton. Um, I've always liked Javante, and gonna go with Javante. Fuck it, we're going Javante. Chasers, what up, brother? Yo, y'all think CMC will be good to go? Yeah, I think he's good to go. I mean,
Yeah.
I know he's listed as questionable still, if I'm not mistaken. But he said, he's fine. He wants to play. But don't forget, like the NFL cracked down on those like injuries and reporting shit now. So like they've got to report everything. So I think kind of that's basically what it is. But yeah, I think he's fine going into week one. We shall see shortly.
No, because he plays on Monday night.
Well, in a few
So
days, but you know
that's,
what I
but
mean.
yeah, but that's the listen. You're gonna play Christian McCaffrey, and even if you have to roll the
He's
dice,
gonna
you're playing
play.
Christian McCaffrey.
He's gonna
Yeah,
play. How much he plays, I don't know, but he's gonna play. Unless he tweaks some shit in warm-ups. But that's the risk that you take with a guy like Christian McCaffrey. I mean,
it said he'll play. He said
yeah.
Christian McCaffrey says he'll play in week 1.
Diaz said correction, Curtis Samuel starts the season off healthy.
Tomato, tomato.
That is true. Got a 25-second, just wanted to offload. Yeah, I feel you, Kev. That's what I got. Same. Full PPR. What up, Simp? Flex
Sim,
Diggs or Pickens? Richardson or Caleb? Had AJ and Saquon go off for me last night. Awesome.
good start.
I don't have any shares of Saquon. That kind of upset me.
Neither do I.
I just didn't get a chance to really take him anywhere. I got AJ though in a few places.
I had AJ last night in a redraft. That was nice. So Diggs or Pickens? You like the upside with
What the
Pickens there?
hell? It's freezing here. Okay, here we go. Yeah, Diggs or Pickens, Caleb, Richardson. I'll go with Richardson over Caleb. Like we know the upside of Richardson. I'm just going with Richardson. And then is it Diggs or is it Pickens? It might be Diggs.
Tank Dell's out there. Nico's out there. They got Mixon.
Yeah, Justin Fields is out there.
Ah, just saying.
Um,
Well, that's what
I
I'm
mean,
saying. Are you
obviously,
making?
I don't think we're gonna see like old Diggs numbers. Like you're not seeing 10 for 160 or nothing like that. But can he be solid enough?
5 for 50? Maybe a touchdown?
That ain't
6 for
obviously gonna be
60?
enough. Do we just roll with the Pickens upside and hope that Justin Fields could hit the side of a barn? Or
That's funny.
so the person he
Oh,
plays has Stroud. So does that
okay.
make you say fuck it?
Play
Because that
Diggs to offset it?
saves you a little bit.
No,
It's like
no, not necessarily. Because Diggs isn't the true number one there. If that was more of a true number one situation, you would play him anyway. But no, I don't think Diggs swayed. I don't think that
he
person
does
playing
throw a
Stroud.
touchdown to Diggs. Like at least the points ain't really counting against you.
I guess
Is that enough to like? Is it close enough between Diggs and Pickens to just say, all right, fuck it, he's got Stroud. I'm just gonna play Diggs.
you can make that case, and I wouldn't be opposed to. It'd be hard for me to argue that case, but this is a super tough one just because, like, I'm not crazy about Justin. Fuck it. Give me Diggs. I'm not crazy about Justin Fields and Pickens and that whole situation. Just give me Diggs and give me some at least a decent floor.
I'm gonna go with Diggs too, but I don't really like it. J Hang 20, what's up? Got offered Amon and Rice for Brees and Diggs. Do you take it? RBs are Brees, Achan, and Monty. Wide receivers are Puka, DK, and Diggs. Two RBs, three wide receivers, and one flex.
So he'd be getting St. Brown, the St. Brown side
Getting St.
for,
Brown and you're getting Rice. And you're
I
giving
think,
up Brees and Diggs. Still got Achan, still got Monty. I'm curious to know who your other running backs are.
I don't mind that though.
Puka, DK, and Diggs.
Is
So
this
if you do
redraft or
take, if you,
are
no,
we just assuming it's Dynasty or is this
no, no,
redraft?
I'm assuming that it's redraft. So we're not talking dynasty. Because then we'll definitely be taking the Amon Ra side. But I think if you can, because if you take Amon Ra, you'll have Puka, Amon Ra, and Rice. Puka, Amon Ra, Rice, and DK. I guess you could. I mean, I like the Amon Ra Rice, like
I like it too
over Brees Diggs,
because you're
and I
still
love
getting the
Brees.
upside
But
with Achan.
then can you trade something else maybe and get some other running backs if you need to? But right now, like you could roll with Monty and Achan, and then just kind of destroy everybody at wide receiver. So yeah, I'll take it. I'll take Amon Ra and Rice. Only bench RB is Rico. All right, that's good enough. I can live
Uncle
with that for
Rico.
now. I can live with that for now.
Uncle
And
Rico.
then when you need to make a move, like then you can make a move if you need to if guys get injured. But I mean, why is your only bench running back Rico? Your bench you should be, especially if you make once you make this trade, like your wide receivers are going to be stacked. You don't need any wide receivers on the bench. Like you can carry maybe one wide receiver on the bench because that's all you're going to need. And then you should be carrying all backup running backs in case somebody gets hurt. You at least have a running back. That's what I'm thinking. Start B Rob, Ray Davis, Khalil Herbert, or Corum.
B Rob.
Like right now, it has to be B Rob until we see like Herbert play or Corum. Like how much work are they going to get? Ray Davis, same situation. And I like Ray Davis, but we need to see exactly how they're going to deploy these guys. Even Brian Robinson, I guess you can say the same. But like we know Brian Robinson at least is going to get some work. Diggs is where I was leaning too. Richardson, London, Adams, Mostert, Kincaid, and Diggs are who I have going tomorrow. Okay.
Okay. Could work with that.
Nice. All right. We talked about Andrews. Lamar has got to fucking have some better accuracy too. I mean,
They were talking about that on the broadcast.
he's kind of, he kind of cost them a little bit as well.
He missed Zay
Mahomes.
Flowers.
Right, right. Well, apparently he wasn't even throwing the ball Tuesday.
He was throwing
Flowers.
it to Bateman.
He's
Yep.
throwing it to Bateman. And I guess he saw Flowers after and then was like, oh, fuck. And mid throw, just fucking threw it in between both of them, I guess. I mean, whatever. Mahomes, I mean, 20 of 28, 291, only one tutty, one into.
Kind of
You know,
pedestrian.
Worthy wound up having the rushing touchdown. Pacheco
Yeah.
had the rushing touchdown. So that's basically kind of why. Rashid Rice, 7 for 103, 9 targets. Travis Kelsey, not that involved. Um, And I've kind of been a little worried about Travis Kelsey for this particular year, just being that like he's another year older, being that they do have some other weapons around, like they don't have to force feed him. And you saw a lot of what Kelsey does. They just basically made Rashid Rice do it. Some of those over the middle after the catch plays that we usually see Kelsey get, like Rashid Rice is just getting it.
We've been kind of on this wagon. Now, I'm not saying this is the end of Kelsey, but it may be the end of him as we've known him as that dominant, true kind of Rob Gronkowski heyday tight end that could just win you a week by himself. I don't think Kelsey is there anymore, honestly. And I noticed, I watched obviously all the games last year, production, blah, blah, blah. Was there a little bit of injury that goes into it? Whatever the case may be. But I do think this is a situation, and you brought up a really good point as well, where we saw what Xavier Worthy can do. We obviously know Rashee Rice is really good. They feel comfortable giving Pacheco 15 to 18 opportunities a game, rushing and receiving. Travis Kelce doesn't have to dominate like he once did. And I think that is going to lead to some of the ebbs and flows in his production. I do think he'll still be a pretty good red zone target, but is he going to be 100 catches for 1,300 yards again? Probably not.
No, I think those kind of days are over. Like, especially now that he's just older, like you said, they don't have to force feed him the ball. Now things will change in the playoffs, of course, like they did last year, right? Where they're trying to get him the football, but for the most part, like they don't have to force feed him. There's other guys there now. I was a little bit surprised of how much we saw Juju on the field.
Yeah. And he dropped the
Because
touchdown.
he knows the offense, but this is why he was dropped. He straight garbage. I mean, no catches, there's nothing. Wind up dropping that tutty. Could have been a better throw, yeah, I guess maybe, but at the
But
same time, like
you're a receiver that should make
he
that
was
catch.
just out there. Like I just saw him out there, like just too much. It felt like, but P Ryan basically, I mean, Mahomes almost hit P Ryan on a tutty on that little
Yep.
swing pass where he kind of
Yep.
overthrew him a
He could
little
be
bit,
useful in passing
or
situations.
let him too much. So, as the season goes on, does P Ryan become more of a guy that plays a little bit more, as the season goes on and he kind of knows the playbook and all that shit. But Carson Steele just did nothing. I mean, 2 carries for 3 yards. Yeah, I think that was pretty. I mean, Xavier Worthy did have the 2 tutties, like great, amazing, but at the same time, it's like 3 targets. Like that's not going to happen every game. We need to definitely, of course, see more targets there. He'll get some rushing opportunities as well, but this is the thing with Xavier Worthy that it kind of reminds me of is like the same thing almost with like JMO right now. Like, is he just going to be a manufactured touch, deep ball? I don't necessarily want to say gimmick type player because it sounds disrespectful, but you know what I mean, like a boom or bust type of guy.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I do think that the way he was utilized in that game will give you some hope. But clearly, Rashee Rice is the 1A pass catcher on that team as we currently sit today, right? Obviously, Kelce goes without saying. And then you start mixing in some Worthy. You mix in, I know they have another tight end that they use. I forgot his name. Juju, like you said, being out there. But Xavier Worthy he's worth a flex play, like in my estimation, with how Patrick Mahomes is. Patrick Mahomes could throw the deep ball. Andy Reid is incredibly creative offensively. So Xavier Worthy is a flex play. Like he's worth being in your lineup as a flex play on a week in, week out basis, just because Patrick Mahomes is his quarterback and Andy Reid is his play caller. So that's what it boils down to for me. And I'm willing to roll the dice if he's only getting 4 or 5 opportunities that he could take one of those to the house. And that's exactly what happened twice on Thursday.
Hollywood obviously did not play, in this
That's
game. So
fair.
what
Yep.
what happens, what happens when Hollywood comes back? Does anything, kind of change? What role does Hollywood just jump right into as well? Like that could be another thing, but
Oh man, tomorrow's gonna be so fun. I'm
yeah,
waking up tomorrow
I guess that's
and
pretty much it for those 2 games that played already. Well, we didn't. Yeah, we talked about AJ Brown. AJ Brown 5 for 119 in the tutty, doing his normal self, just
he did have
cooking,
that bit. Most of that
cooking
was
your
on that
boy,
big play. Most of
cooking
that
your
was on
boy Alexander.
shut up. Most of that was on one play.
We had 119. The one play was 67, but yeah, he did have 10 targets, so he was targeted a lot. And same with Devonta Smith. Devonta Smith was just that kind of possession guy. 7 for 84, 8 targets.
That's what you
Didn't
expect.
wind up scoring a tutty, but and then of
But he has
course
touchdown upside.
right, and then of course we talked about Saquon with his 3 tutties, doing his thing, and we knew Saquon was going to be good. A lot of people
So
were
now
skeptical a little bit with the with the Jalen Hurts and all that, but again, we saw Miles Sanders rush for what 1,200, 1,300 yards. We saw Miles Sanders rush for double-digit touchdowns. Like Saquon is way better than that. So like he's got
and a better
he's
catcher.
yeah, and he catches the football, right? Yeah. So I mean he's got a ton of upside. Now, he's not going to score 3 touchdowns every game, but
There's going to be
um,
opportunities for him to put up 15 touchdowns this season. Like,
oh yeah.
honestly. Now, let me ask you
Mhm.
this. And obviously, I have a share of Jalen Hurts in Dynasty. I think you do as well, no?
Mhm.
Did the limited rushing upside in yesterday's game scare you a little bit? And also combined with the usage of Saquon Barkley. Obviously, he's a workhorse. Did that give you any pause for Jalen Hurts' upside from a rushing standpoint?
No, because they still did the tush push, and even at the goal line, they wound up. I think they botched the snap,
Yeah,
if
yeah,
I'm
at
not
the end. Yeah,
mistaken.
they
So
did.
that could have
Yeah.
been that could have been one. And then on the other hand, like he still carried the ball 13 times. Like he just didn't get far. He only had 33 yards, but the rushing was still there. He carried the ball 13 times, so I can't really complain about that. I just think that Green Bay did a great job of kind of trying to bracket him in and not letting him get kind of outside the pocket and on the move,
Yeah.
to rush. A lot of the rushes it felt like were kind of like inside. You know what I mean? Like everything
He did
was
a couple of those. He did have a couple of those where they ran out of the shotgun, like empty formation, and he just did like a quarterback draw up the
right.
middle as opposed to the RP classic RPO action.
Right. So I'm not worried about it. He still had the 13 attempts, which I'm fine with, and they still were doing the tush push. It's not like they kind of went away from that. So yeah, I'm totally fine with it. Like we said, we've seen Miles Sanders be able to rush for yards and score touchdowns as well. So I'm not necessarily worried about it. Obviously, I would have liked him to rush for more yards, but I think Green Bay they did a good job of just kind of keeping him in check as far as his rushing and where he can rush. So. What do you think? What did you feel?
Yeah, I mean, and I was actually talking to Bagala. We were on the phone bullshitting a little bit last night, and Jalen Hurts, he didn't look as nimble. Now, was that a product of what the Packers were doing? But he didn't look as spry. Now, also too, the field conditions could have also played a factor in him not, looking as nimble, when they had the design run. So it was interesting for me, and I told Bagala, I was like, Jalen Hurts doesn't look as nimble and as quick getting out of the pocket or trying to do some of his rushes. Also, he looked a little hesitant to rush on a few plays where there was some open field in front of him, when he was 2-3 seconds into his progression, maybe even 4 seconds into his progression. And it looked like he was a little hesitant to run. Now, like I said, you can attribute that to the field conditions not being great and him not wanting to take any chances, but it just looked a little off in the running game. Obviously, you could tell by the efficiency, 13 runs for 33 yards. He's usually more efficient on the ground than that. But yeah, so it did give me a little cause to pause. That's why I wanted to get your thoughts and see, because like if Jalen Hurts doesn't have that rushing upside, that's going to be, that's going to hurt his value from the standpoint of where you took Jalen Hurts. And if you're talking super flex, he was a top 5, 6 pick. So I was just, interested to see what you thought about it. But it did give me cause to pause.
Yeah, I mean, if he had 5 carries, then maybe that's a conversation maybe at that point. Are they kind of going away from it and letting Saquon rush? But with 13 carries, like I wasn't necessarily worried about it. And I don't feel like Jalen Hurts was ever like that nimble. Like I never thought he was like crazy fast. It's not like a Lamar kind of when you run. Like
Mm,
I just feel like Hurts has always been a little more like cool, calm, and collected kind of runner. Like so, I didn't really see a crazy difference. And yeah, like I said, I mean, 13 carries, I'll live with that. He's not just gonna rush for 33 yards every time, so I'll take it. What up, Caddy? Caddy in the house was good. Do we think Chase plays? I don't know. I guess we'll find out tomorrow. if
tomorrow,
he
11:30,
plays, then
bro.
if he plays, we're playing him. So George, Javante, or Brian Robinson for the flex non PPR.
Ooh, I think this might be Javante. Now, McLaughlin is a threat, but
I mean, it's non PPR.
I think I like Javante here.
I might go Javante too, because I feel like he's more of like just like the main runner. And then with Brian Robinson, like you've got a Russian quarterback now as well. So does that take away a little bit? And goal line upside too, really.
Mm-hmm.
You know, had Reed on the bench. Oof.
Oof.
Listen, I played one guy in a redraft league, and he's got Worthy and Jaden Reed
And
on the
Reed?
bench.
Oh no. Worthy and Reed. You're
It
looking at
was,
what? 50 points on the
uh,
bench? 40, 50 points on the
yeah,
bench?
it's a lot.
Jesus.
So I lucked out on that one. But I've got a few leagues where I went against Jaden Reed. In a few leagues I went against Worthy, but nothing is like out of distance for me to to catch up or anything. So I'm not down much. Mm. XPC, what's up? Would you trade CeeDee Lamb for Jamar Chase and Kyle Pitts in a 10-man PPR league with Cole Kmet as my starting tight end? I would slam it, but there's so much uncertainty with Chase. Trade CeeDee Lamb and you get Chase and Kyle Pitts in a
That's
10-man.
You know what? You know what also too, XP is interesting here is the quarterback situation in Dallas is uncertain as well. Like now, I know you look at it as the right now, but I'm just kind of throwing another little wrinkle in there. If Dak is not the quarterback next year and it's some rookie or Shador Sanders or whatever the case may be, is that something you factor into this type of scenario?
I mean, if it's Dynasty, we're definitely taking Jamar Chase and Kyle Pitts, but this is redraft. So a 10-man PPR, and correct us if we're wrong, XP, like if it's Dynasty or not, but I'm not reading it as Dynasty because that would be an automatic smash. Um, but yeah, if you're talking redraft, getting off a CD, you're getting Jamar Chase and Kyle Pitts in a 10-man. You do want the hammers.
I think Kyle Pitts has fantastic upside this year, but the
So
Chase situation just really throws a little monkey wrench. I think I'd still do it, but there is some hesitation there. I think Jamar Chase ends up playing. Like he has to go out there and play. They have a legitimate shot to make a run. Joe Burrow is his boy. I know he's been, pandering pretty much all off season, but I think I'd roll the dice and go chasing Pitts here.
yeah, I think I'll do that too, but it's slight because I could see also, I mean, in a 10-man where just take CD and live with it, or hold CD and live with it. But I mean, how'd you wind up getting Cole Kmet though? Yeah, I'll take Chase and I'll take Chase and Pitts. Full PPR. Who's in the flex? Monty or Ford?
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a really good one.
I'm gonna go with Monty just because he pretty much scores a touchdown every game that he plays.
I think I'm leaning that way too. I think the Detroit offense is markedly better than the Cleveland offense at this point. So I think Detroit will have more opportunities to score. Give me Monty here.
Caps, what up, Daniel Caps? Rolling out with Murray, Rashad White, Achan, St. Brown, Puka, McLaurin, Ingram, PPR. Bench is Stevenson, Monty, Kirk, Pollard, Shakir, Bowers. Think right lineup. White and Achan. Yeah, I like that over Stevenson and Monty. St. Brown, Puka, McLaurin, Ingram. Yeah, I'm good living with that. It's a good lineup.
That is solid.
Yeah, you got it right from to me at least. That's who I would be starting if I had to choose.
Monty's an interesting wrinkle here just because he has that fantastic upside, that touchdown upside. But obviously, Achan is the home run hitter, and then Rashard White is fantastic in terms of PPR availability. So that's pretty solid.
Alan, what's up, Alan? Yeah, I see the comment there. You don't see all the other comments. We have all the comments from, wherever we're streaming to, the three different places. But yeah, you won't see it. But it basically just comes in line for us in order. So we're just going in order. But yeah, I got it here for you, Alan. Start two: Dobbins, JMO, Odunze, DK against Sertan and Yoshibas. Start two: Dobbins, JMO, Odunze, DK. I don't care if DK is going against Sertan.
Neither do I.
Mm. Especially with these options, I should say. With these other options, like DK is definitely we're starting DK he's the one out of all these guys I would start.
Yeah, I'm definitely starting DK as well. Odunze is a really, really interesting option here, and I think I might lean DK and Odunze with these options because JMO, we talked about JMO being true boomer bust in that offense, especially with his pecking order. And then Dobbins, like, what do we know his role is going to be with Gus Bus, with that offense? We haven't seen it yet. We have to see something. Obviously, I know you haven't seen Odunze in there, but I think I like some upside with Odunze and DK.
I don't know if I could go with Dunze. I think it's between JMO or even Yoshivas at this point. I mean, we know Higgins is not playing. We don't know the situation with Chase. Yoshivas should at least be on the field and playing. Either he's wide receiver 2 or the wide receiver 3 with T. Higgins not playing.
It- I agree. But like you said, where does Burton slide in? Does he take up some of that? They still, obviously
Well,
Zach
I
Moss in the
guess my thing
backfield.
is at least Yoshivas will be the second or third option, where like
Right.
Odunze,
Third, fourth.
could be the third, fourth. JMO is the fourth. You know what I
Right.
mean? So do you go for the upside and just take the chance with JMO, hope he catches a bomb, and just live with that, or do you play a little bit safer maybe with your shoe? I'm gonna go with JMO. I'm gonna go with JMO just because he can catch a bomb. Or a little end around or something like that. But knowing that it's a hit or miss, you know, situation. So it could bite you in the ass. But
I'm gonna
if
take
you want to play it
Odunze.
safe, I'd go Yoshivas. But otherwise, I'll go JMO with the. No, I don't know with Odunze yet. And for the first game, like I feel like I'm more comfortable with the other two guys
I get
just
it, but I
this
I
first
like
game.
what I've seen because Odunze and Caleb played a decent amount in the preseason, so they at
Mhm.
least have some rhythm there. So I do like Odunze's upside here, even with the other options they have out there. I think I like what I've seen so far, and I think they have built a rapport. So give me a DK and Odunze.
Right, got both Gibbs and Monty. Okay,
You
okay with
could
that,
still run
Caddy.
both of those guys out there, yeah.
Right. No problem, Caps. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody out there in the chat. Throw us a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Where is Henry in your RB rankings? I know he was definitely top 10. He was top 8 for me.
He's in that 8-ish range.
I gotta go back and
Man, that touchdown upside is
look
just
there.
so good.
Yeah, he was 7. He was my RB 7 starting off the season. And we had talked about it a little bit earlier, kind of about that whole situation, and the game script and all. So I'm not worried about Derrick Henry at all. See the AP jersey is Jetta's touching 100 yards tomorrow. Let's go. Jetta's about to touch 200, baby. What's good, Andre? Bro, he averaged an actual one more point per game, I think, when his quarterback was not Kirk Cousins last year. So yeah, Sammy D's
Stop
about
it.
to light it up.
Just
But yeah,
stop
we
it.
going for a buck no matter what. Like with JJ, of course. That's a given. Especially with no Hawk. Blake Corum goes off. Have this feeling Blake Corum goes off. Yeah, it's possible. But, Kyron's gonna still be the guy. I think Kyron's gotta get hurt for
Mhm.
Blake Corum to go off. Can Blake Corum break a huge run on one of his plays? Sure, but
What are the chances?
lost Love in a few leagues, got Purdy for Lockett and Sutton. Yeah, I'm with that. Okay. So you're good. You're at least safe. 8-man, what's supposed to do? I try and tear up. God, Caddy, these 8-man ones are killing me. I got Allen, Kyron, Henry, Chase, Rashid, Joku, Devonta, benches, Ayuk, Connor, Monty, Watson, JD5, Chase Brown, and Goddard. That's the hard part. Is like in an 8-man, like do people even want to entertain like giving up a top player unless they absolutely need to because some injuries happen? Like, but you got Allen, you got Kyron, you got Henry, you got Chase, you got Rashi, you got Joku, you got Devonta. So I mean, yeah, like you're pretty set. Like, can you trade Ayuk and Devonta or Ayuk and Rashid for a top player? Like maybe look at something like that. Running backs, you're good, so I'll hold on to that. Like, I mean, you got JD5 on the bench. Maybe he goes off this one game, and you've got some kind of trade bait for somebody that needs a quarterback. It's 8-man, so that's the thing. It's hard. It's gonna be hard to even get somebody to need a quarterback at that point. But
Mm-hmm.
can you tier up a wide receiver or can you tier up a tight end? Like those are the two
And these
spots
eight,
you're looking at.
I've never played in an 8-man league.
Like, can you do Njoku and Rashi Rice for like fucking Trey McBride? Or can you buy Mark Andrews low, maybe? Right? I mean,
Kelsey, maybe even if you really wanted to.
right? It's an 8-man, so the guy who has Andrews might have a backup tight end, you know? So maybe you can try and sneak away Andrews and give away one of these, one of these wide receivers, I guess. Diff League start 1, DK, Brian Thomas, Pollard, Singletary.
I think it's got to be DK, no?
Yeah, I'm still gonna roll with DK. I'm not going with the running backs. You could make a case for BTJ, I guess, but let's roll with just the actual best player all around between these guys. Nobody wants to join our league. I mean, gotta get it to 12. You got this. You gotta start recruiting.
Facts.
Are you in the I mean, you could always ask people in the Discord too. I mean, are you in the Discord? I don't think so. Let me put the Discord in the chat here. If you're not in the Discord, hop in the Discord. It's free. I mean, I actually got to make a start sit section in there. See, there's a lineup advice situation. Lineup advice thing in the channel. Can I change that to? I'm gonna change it right now to start sit. Boom. All right, save that up. But yeah, join the chat. Breakout year for Shakir.
I've got Shakir in a couple leagues. I'm hoping so, Daniel. I think he has some solid upside on a week-to-week basis, but is Keon Coleman going to cut into that? Yes. For how long does Curtis Samuel cut into that? Does not Dawson Knox, Jesus Christ, does Dalton Kincaid kind of take another step with Josh Allen? So
I like Shakir, but I do feel like he's probably like the fourth option, right? I mean, you got Kincaid, you got Samuel, you got Keon Coleman.
yeah, but we don't know. I mean, like it's pretty much been
We
an
don't.
overhaul there,
We
with Diggs
don't.
and Gabe Davis out of there. There's enough targets to go around where I think Shakir, and especially Shakir's been there, like he's been in that offense for a couple of years now. So it's like, all right, cool. Can we take that next step? I'm not saying he's got to be Diggs, but
16-man league start last flex BTJ, Yoshivas, or Mooney.
I got to see what Mooney looks like. So I'm not fucking with Mooney right now. Josephus is interesting. He's the hot commodity right now for week 1. So, but Brian Thomas Jr., man, they drafted him where they drafted him for a reason. Calvin Ridley out the door. Christian Kirk, okay, fine. Evan Ingram did get a ton of targets last year. He still got ETN. I'm gonna take the chance with Brian Thomas in this scenario. I'm gonna roll the dice with Brian Thomas here.
Yeah, I mean, Steelers do have a decent D. Mooney is what, the third option? I mean, all these guys are pretty much, third-ish options. I might go with BTJ too. Might
I
roll
think
with
that's the
BTJ
play.
too. But I will say this about Mooney because, Kirk Cousins has always made the second wide receiver like valuable. We've seen that for a long time now, especially Jordan Addison just last year. So like Mooney could be a good option as well. Yoshivis, like we've been saying. So can make an argument for all, but man, probably go BTJ though too. Let's go BTJ on it. What about Connor? I mean, he's like 14 maybe. He's not in the top 12 for me, but I think he very well could be. He probably deserves to be when he's healthy. In a redraft, I mean, he's consistently, even last year, like he was a
He
top back when he
produces
was healthy.
when he
He
plays. He
produces.
produces.
So how much of that changes now
Trey Benson.
with Trey Benson in the backfield? That we don't necessarily know. Or is Connor still the main dude getting all the work, and Trey Benson is just the backup right now? I mean, I think that as we get into the season, middle of the season, and towards the end of the season, like we're gonna see more Trey Benson. Like I think it
I
will kind of
agree.
be like a slow ramp up. So that's like my only cause for concern for Connor, and just being that he's another year older.
The
So
injury
that
risk
would be
is
my
always there with the
right,
workload that
right,
he gets when he's healthy. Like it's bound to happen.
right. So that's like my slight concern for Connor. But when he's healthy, like you're playing him. There's no doubt about that for right now. Cap said, also have a spot open with Brooks on, I think I'll pick up Palmer, Lockett, or New England wide receiver. I probably just roll with Palmer.
I'm taking Palmer as well.
Yeah. I mean, I've always liked Lockett, but again, he is a year older now. They do have some more competition there. He is coming off an injury as well. Like, so yeah, give me Palmer. Give me Palmer. But yeah, I mean, shit, we got a bunch of games tomorrow. So exciting to see what kind of points some of these guys put up. Hopefully I win most of my matchups. London, Olave, Pittman, start 2.
Oh, London's definitely the automatic here. It's between
Mhm.
Olave and Pittman, and they both had some interesting dynamics, but I'm gonna go Pittman. I I was so wrong about Derek Carr, and I'm just sick of it. And I feel bad for Olave because I think he's a really good receiver. But I'm gonna go Pittman here. Pittman is just gets a ton of targets, no Josh Downs. The other receiving threat is Donnie Mitchell, and then obviously my boy. Who's the other? Who's the Colts guy that they picked up? Fuck, why is his name slipping my mind?
Cool. What are you talking
The
about?
Colts receiver, not a Donnie Mitchell, the other guy.
Talking about Josh Downs, but he's
No,
hurt. He's
he's
not
Josh
playing.
Downs is out. The other guy. Fuck, what? The white guy,
The white guy. I
receiver
don't
on the
know why, but
Colts.
I'm drawing a blank right now.
So am I. Somebody out there
You're
tell me
saying
who
the
the
white guy on the Colts, and I'm
the
thinking like,
receiver.
and I'm thinking Austin Collie.
No, not Austin Collie. Why is his name?
Obviously not, but
Why is the guy's name? And I'm a big fan of this guy too. I thought when he was coming out, he would be really good. Why the fuck?
let's see. Who? Alec Pierce?
Pierce, Alec Pierce. There we
He's
go.
a
I don't know
bum.
why.
He's a
I
bum.
understand. I understand. So yeah,
But
give me London and Pittman. But I love Olave. I have Olave in Dynasty, but I'm going London and Pittman here.
it's tough. 'Cause Pittman is like a bona fide wide receiver too. with that upside. They are playing what the Texans, I think, right? So you do have a situation where maybe the Texans are putting up points, and A-Rich has got to throw it. But there is a situation with the Saints where, like you said, kind of Derek Carr kind of sucks. Panthers ain't really that good. So, does
But Derek
Olave
Carr
get the
still sucks no
majority of
matter
the
what.
huh?
But Derek Carr sucks no matter what.
I know, but he still got to get it to somebody, and I don't. Their run game isn't really that good. Kamara wasn't great between the tackles. Um, I'm gonna take Olave. I'm gonna take Olave,
I hear it.
but it's
I
either
hear it.
or. It's close. It's not. You can't go wrong, really. No problem, Caps. Appreciate you. Which matchup are you most excited for? What matchup other than my Vikings, of course? Um,
I think Lions Rams has a chance to be really good, and that Jets Niners
yeah.
game on Monday night. Those are the two I'm looking forward to the most.
I think Cardinals Bills is a nice one too. Like we Marvin Harrison for the first time,
Mm-hmm.
like Josh Allen without Diggs. Like, we don't really know how that's going to be divvied up with Kincaid and everything there. So, yeah, I would say Cardinals Bills, even Steelers Falcons is interesting. Like Falcons with Kirk Cousins, Steelers having to run out Fields out there. So that'll be an interesting game. To see CJ Stroud against the Colts, like A-Rich, like that's an interesting game as well. Jags Dolphins, I mean Brian Thomas Jr., the Dolphins offense, like that could be exciting also. So there's a few games. I mean, Jets Niners is interesting. Hopefully Aaron Rodgers can, last more than 30 seconds
Stay
this
on his
year.
feet.
Hammer got them bets.
Yeah, I got a couple little bets. You know what, Steve?
2-6.
Also,
Bro, he said white wide receiver on the Colts. It just automatically Austin Collie comes to my mind. I mean, what other white wide receiver are
Brandon
you?
Stokely.
I guess.
All right, Steve. I do. Also, I need you to add a page to the Discord for the bets. So I'll post some of the bet
I'll hit
slips
up.
in the Discord.
I'm dyslexic with all this shit. I usually have.
No, you're not.
I have somebody that does it. That does it for me. So I'll hit him up and add a betting section or something.
Couple games I do like. Really quick, Kev. I do like Dolphins -3.5 home against the Jaguars. I'm feeling, and Bagala and I have talked. We were tossing around a couple of different games. That Jets Niners game got bet down to 3.5 on FanDuel. I think I like the Jets in that game plus the 3.5. 4.5 would have been better, obviously, but I do like the Jets plus the 3.5. Cowboys Browns, that over under there is 40.5. I think that game now, I know the Browns play really good defense at home, but 40.5 seems pretty low. So if you want to hit that over on the Browns Cowboys game, 40.5 seems pretty damn low. So those are some of the games I like. But there's a lot of tough matchups like that are hard to kind of call. We were talking, Bagala and I were talking about taking the Giants straight up on the money line. You're getting like plus 112 on FanDuel with the Giants on the money line. So that's another interesting play. So those are some of the things I got for you.
Do you of Chase in leagues? Let's hope he doesn't have to do a bunch of swaps. Yeah, I hope not
It's
either.
gonna suck. Yep.
Monty Neighbors Cook start one running back, one flex. So I think it's just Monty and Cook for me.
I would
I'm
agree.
okay with sitting Neighbors on the first game, just not kind of knowing what we're gonna get, I guess.
Yeah, I think I'm in agreement with that. I mean, I think I'm definitely playing Monty and James Cook for that matter. Yeah. I know what I'm getting. I don't know what I'm getting at Neighbors and Daniel Jones, that combination yet. Kind of agree.
Right.
Yeah.
You could feel pretty safe with Monty and Cook. Let's go Giants. Yeah. Nah. Going Vikes, baby. How'd I tell my dad he's insane for drafting both Allen and Hurts?
Somebody did that in our one quarter in your home redraft. Somebody did that. He drafted Allen and Hurts in a one quarterback
They thought
redraft
it
league.
was two QB like yours. Somebody I don't know. Pittman White, isn't he? Or he mixed? I
I
don't
think he's
even
mixed.
know. I don't think they're. I don't even think Alec Pierce is white.
He's white, dude.
Is he?
Yes.
Bro.
Go look him up. Go look him up in Sleeper. Alec Pierce is white.
Yeah, his fucking complexion might be white.
He's white, dude. Look at him.
I'm literally typing in Google right now. Is Alec Pierce white?
You don't need Google
Um,
for that.
bro, it doesn't even. Grew up in Illinois. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, he's white.
Yeah, so is he just white? Like, it is not very clear here about. Yeah, I give up. I don't know. It just is not even coming up here. So I guess we'll just roll with white. He's white as rice.
Yeah, exactly. There's no
Yeah,
questions
his
about it.
skin color might be, but
Dude, you can tell. Come on. Let's
why?
cut
Because
the
he
bullcrap.
sucks.
No, I didn't say that.
Reese, what up? Reese Ford, Stevenson, or Javante?
For this, I think I like Ford,
I'm
but
still gonna roll with Ford, I think, too,
yeah,
until I see
between
it from
these,
Javante. Like I know Ford is gonna get the work, and I have a feeling Javante is probably gonna get the work too, but can never
we
trust
want to
this.
see it, especially with that offense. Remember, like that's a
Right.
new, they're overhauling some things in Denver right now. So you want to see it with the new quarterback.
I mean, you could argue Stevenson too, but I don't like who are they playing again? Are they playing Burrow,
Cincinnati.
aren't they? Yeah, so I don't know with Stevenson. I mean, I like him, don't get me wrong, but is he gonna be catching the passes? That's gonna be the biggest thing. You know, they're gonna be in the game enough to be able to actually like run the football. So yeah, give me Ford. Jason, what up, Jason? One PPR flex pick one. Connor, Ford, Stevenson, Zach Moss, or Amari Cooper. Already have Brees Hall and Pacheco starting off. This is Amari Cooper, easy for me.
The receiver with PPR. None of those other guys are true, outside of Stevenson with the receiving upside.
Which I would say Connor could be an argument just because of what he has been able to do when he's healthy, but I'm still rolling with Amari.
Yeah, I'm gonna lean Amari here too as well. But I mean, listen, because it's PPR, you're gonna lean receiver. So you go with Amari, but Stevenson does have some upside. I just don't know what that offense is gonna look like, which I kind of do. It's gonna be terrible, but yeah, I think Amari's fine here.
Alan said, would you start Brian Thomas Jr. or Keon Coleman over Monty or stick with Monty? I think
Is
Monty
that
is probably like the safest because like he's gonna get the football. You know he's gonna be in at the goal line. He's pretty much scored a touchdown basically every game that he's played
it's
in.
crazy.
We're not sure what we're gonna see out of Keon Coleman yet, even though it's a good offense. We're not sure exactly what we're gonna see out of BTJ yet in the first game, and he is a rookie. Christian Kirk is healthy. Ingram is still healthy. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna roll with Monty just to be on like the safe side until we kind of see what we're gonna get out of BTJ and Coleman, I guess,
Do you want to
going
miss that?
forward.
Do you want to miss that opening statement boom type game that you some like? I understand Xavier Worthy had limited opportunities, and I'm not saying that But do you want to miss that Xavier Worthy type game? You know what I mean? Out of one of
Problem
these
at Xavier
guys.
Worthy, just like Gabe Davis, you have to play him every single game. You
I
can't pick
got
and
you.
choose what games you're going to play him because you just don't know which games he's going to go off on. And I love Brian Thomas Jr., and he's been an awesome deep threat so far. Obviously, we haven't played like a game yet, but preseason or whatever, he's been a good deep threat. But I'm just going to take like the automatic points from Monty. I know I'm going to get some decent points and most likely a touchdown. So,
I
like, I
hear it.
wanna say Monty, but, like, I do wanna say Keon Coleman too because, like, the Bills don't really have much other players there, but again, he is a rookie. Like, I'd rather just kinda play it safe at least for the first week. Like, I don't think I'm gonna miss the first game, like, Keon Coleman going for buck 50 or Brian Thomas Jr. going for a buck 50. Like, I think that's a low probability, and I'm not afraid to miss that
Okay.
where,
Just
like,
throwing it
Monty,
out
I
there.
just
That's all
feel
I'm
safer.
saying.
So I'm gonna go with Monty, but who you going with?
I'm gonna go Brian Thomas Jr. I'm gonna do it.
I mean, I'm fine with it. It's fair. Justin, what up, Justin? Warren or Mostert? Fucking Mostert, bro. It's not
It's
even close.
Mostert. Yep.
Mostert, RB5 last year. Like, what are we doing? We're not gonna sit Mostert ever in that offense at all. So we're going Mostert. Appreciate you though, Justin. Opponent had Gibbs also. Okay. Jason said he punted on QB to stack up roster this year. 4-point passing touchdown. Rodgers or Geno?
Aaron Rodgers. Way too much upside with Garrett Wilson. He's still got the arm. He doesn't necessarily have the mobility, but it's not even particularly close. It's Aaron Rodgers.
I think they're both kind of like the same almost. Like there's not a huge difference, I don't think. I mean, as far as the talent, yes, but just the overall fantasy points, like for week one, I mean, they are playing what, the Niners?
That doesn't. I'm taking Aaron Rodgers. I'm not gonna. I'm taking Aaron
Yeah, I'm
Rodgers.
taking Aaron Rod. What about the offensive line? Like,
I'm taking Aaron Rodgers. When the option is Aaron Rodgers or Geno Smith, and I understand there's other factors that go into it, but I'm taking Aaron Rodgers, considering how terrible Geno was last year as well. There's
just
way more
feel like
upside
this.
with Aaron
Didn't
Rodgers.
didn't Denver give up like 60?
Yeah, to Miami in week 4, but then they were really good after that.
I think that's like my biggest thing. Like, can we trust the Jets against the Niners? And I know they
No,
got Aaron Rodgers. Like I know we can trust Aaron Rodgers, but
they did
the
retool the offensive line. They got the Brees Hall. They got the Garrett Wilson. They got Mikey Will. I'm just saying, I'm not a Jets. I'm not pom-pomming for the Jets at all. But when the option's Aaron Rodgers or Geno Smith, you going Aaron Rodgers.
typically, yes, but I don't know. I just feel like going against the Niners that
The
changes it
Niners
a little
aren't
bit.
exactly. Hold on, hold on. The Niners aren't exactly the 2000 Ravens. So let's pump the brakes a little bit on that. Jordan Love played pretty well against that San Francisco defense. Jared Goff played pretty well against that San
In
Francisco
the
defense. The
playoffs
last
for
time we saw
sure,
them,
they
I'm
fell apart for sure.
I'm just saying. So they're not the 85 Bears. They're not the 2000 Ravens. Give me Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, is it as Aaron Rodgers still MVP Aaron Rodgers?
He doesn't need to be.
Yes. I'm gonna go with Rodgers just because Rodgers is the better
After all that, you're
quarterback,
going
but
with
I'm
Aaron
not.
Rodgers.
I was just
After
trying
all
to play
that,
devil's advocate a little bit, but like I'm just trying to make the case, I guess, for Gino or
no,
talk
you
myself
can't.
into
You
it. But
can't. You can't do it.
I mean, I can, but
No, you can't.
yeah, that's a tough one. Bryce Young all day. What up, Uncle Ted? Roll with Caleb next week with Love out or drop a rookie, Wright or Tracy, to pick up Gino, Nix, Fields, Carr, Levis before they are locked
No, Caleb.
tomorrow.
Go
Yeah,
with
just
Caleb
roll
and
with
be fine.
Caleb. There's no
Yeah.
reason to risk it on those other guys because they're all trash. Um,
Oh,
so
so
yeah.
Gino is trash. Exactly.
Yeah, well, Aaron Rodgers might be at that point of trash too with the rest of his team. You know,
That's
when you add in the team around him, that could be trash too. Who else is he throwing to other than Garrett Wilson?
He's got Mike Williams. He's got a little Alan Lazard.
Mike Williams.
He's got a little Tyler. He's got our boy Xavier Gibson out there. Like,
Mm. All right, y'all. Throw any last questions you got in the chat before we hop up out of here. Jason, we did talk about the managers and likely performance a little bit earlier. So you can try and rewind that and find it. But we're both not worried about Andrews. If we watch the game, you can see that likely the game script wasn't for or the game plan wasn't to get the ball to likely. The game script of the game and kind of how everything went being down, that's what caused likely to do what he did. He ran a lot of flat routes, just wide open. Like they were bracketing everything downfield, not letting Mark Andrews get open downfield, and just allowing everything underneath. And that's where likely ate for the most part, other than that scrambling throw and that 50-yard touchdown that he had. Everything was kind of was very short, and I don't think that's going to happen every single week. So Andrews again was hurt before the season, got into a car crash as well. So I mean,
mm-hmm.
you know, there was a possibility he might not have even played, they were saying. So yeah, I'm not necessarily worried about it. But it is something,
Neither
of
am I.
course, to keep an eye on, Isaiah likely will still be involved. Like there's not a lot of guys over there. Like as you see, there's not a ton of playmakers, right? You got Zay Flowers, you got
Bateman's
Mark
not that good.
Andrews, you know, as far as wide receivers and tight ends. So he'll be fine. I'm not too worried about it. Not yet anyway. Got an offer for Stafford for Love, but I'm thinking roll with Caleb till Love comes back. I'm hoping he balls. Got an offer for Stafford for Love. No, just hold on to Caleb. I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, hold on to Caleb.
I
Sam,
think
what
you're
up,
in a good
Sam?
situation.
What's goody,
Yeah.
Sam? Caddy said how many fantasy champs you won. I mean, overall, I mean last year I won one redraft, and I think I did four. And I won one dynasty out of what, nine last year, maybe. Made it to the semifinals in a couple, but yeah, only two ships last year. I don't play in too
I,
many redraft though.
I didn't do shit last year.
Had some injuries.
Injuries and just like inconsistent performances early on. But I do like my team in the sub league. I mean, obviously I have Jordan Love in both sub leagues, so that fucking sucks, but I have contingencies. I like the rest of my team, so I feel pretty good about that. And my redraft teams I like a lot as well. Feeling pretty good.
Yeah, Sam, I went against a couple Jaden Reeds as well. But listen, it's still early, right? There's still plenty of time. There's going to be other guys that go off too. So, you'll be all right. Can't control what you can't control.
Can't play fantasy defense. That's what you can't do.
So yeah, just hang in there. We don't even know if Chubb is returning, Jason. I'm not a Chubb guy. I think that injury pretty much ended his whole career almost. We don't know if he is going to come back, and when he does, like realistically, what's
He's
the
not gonna
chances the
be.
Browns
Yeah,
are just like, okay, here's 20 plus carries again? Like
that's
they're
not
going to
happening.
kill him. So yeah, I just don't think that's happening. Can Chubb come back and maybe be a committee type thing where he's getting like 10 to 12 carries a game? Yeah, possibly, but I'm not willing to bet on it at all. Caddy, appreciate you. Good luck tomorrow morning. Good luck to everybody in their matchups
Yes,
tomorrow.
sir. It's time for business. Tomorrow's a full slate.
Right. We hopping on tomorrow?
I actually have people coming over early,
Okay.
like 11.
Right. So I'll see if maybe I'll hop on for a little bit before the games. But otherwise, we'll see y'all Tuesday night. Of course, we got the Dynasty show Tuesday night, so we'll kind of recap the week a little bit, see what we got going on Dynasty wise. But other than that, appreciate
Yes,
y'all.
sir.
But yeah, we'll see y'all either tomorrow morning or Tuesday night for sure. Every Tuesday night, we're definitely on Tuesdays and Saturdays at 10. So we'll see y'all. Peace.
Go Pack, go.
Now, back suck.